Dark Shadows, number 7-66. VTR 62166, Air 7566. Take one.
My name is Victoria Winters. The dead past drifts through the corridors of Collinwood and settles like dust in its corners. Spurred by hope and surrounded by fear, my search continues, as life itself continues. Not only for me, but for everyone else in this strange corner of the world. People who live with their own fear, their own hopes.
It's hard. Too slow or too fast? Or not at all. Oh, Darian? Sam Evans. No, I don't want a number. Just want to know what time it is. Bless you. Don't rob me of my hours. They're all too few, or perhaps too many. Collins!
I don't think you ought to have that now.
You taken to breaking into people's homes?
The door was unlocked. I waited. I wanted to talk with you, but without this.
Look, if I'm supposed to talk to you, that's when I'll need this the most. To life, Collins. To the long, unhappy, and miserable life that lies ahead for both of us. The sustenance of my soul. Provider of my courage. Destroyer of my talents.
Where were you last night?
Nowhere. Everywhere. Perhaps I was here.
I came here to see you last night. No one was home.
Well, the fact of the matter is, Collins, that even when I'm here, nobody's home.
Don't play games with me, Evans. I spent a couple of hours looking for you. No more.
I beg your pardon?
Sit down.
Hey, give me that bottle.
Not until we're through talking. Sit down.
This is my home, and I'll ask you not to forget that. This may not be a fancy castle like you live
Do
in.
you know that Burke Devlin has come back to town?
Yes. Now, give me the bottle. He arrived last night on a 9 o'clock train from New York. 15 minutes later, he checked into the Collinsport Hotel.
When did you find that out?
Last night. I was near the hotel when he arrived.
You've known since that time, and you didn't try to get in touch with me?
I wanted time to think. We got a lot to think about, you and me. 10 years. 10 years of torment and anguish that I'd hoped... No. I wasn't here last night. I went for a walk along the shore. I looked out at the ocean. And I wept. For Burke and for me. Even a little for you.
You don't have to cry for him, Evans. He's a very wealthy man now.
What good is money? It means nothing.
You didn't always think so.
That's true.
Well, what do you plan to do now?
Do?
About Devlin! You don't think he's come back just to visit his hometown and to see his old friends again, do you?
No. And I remember when you were one of those friends.
Evans, I'm convinced that Burke intends to hurt me in some way.
Revenge and retribution, yes, I would say so.
And I am going to protect myself every way I can. I can handle all the problems that come to me directly, but not those over which I have no control.
I see. So then, you want to know what I intend to do, huh?
Precisely.
Well, you don't have to be afraid of my actions. You don't have to be afraid of any of my actions. I am what I've become. I'll do nothing.
What'll it be?
Donuts and coffee.
Black? 4 sugars?
No, no sugar. How did you know about that?
It's the way you used to drink it at our house, Burke.
Or should I know you?
Well, 10 years does a lot to a gal. I traded in my pigtails for lipstick.
I don't like guessing games.
All right, one big fat hint. You used to pose for my pop.
Maggie Evans!
Right. And if you don't say how you've grown, I'll throw something at you.
How you've grown. Whatever happened to that portrait your papa's doing of me?
Well, it sort of got interrupted by the trial. Remember?
Yes, I remember.
Well, he never finished it. It's still around the house somewhere.
Couldn't he get some other character to model for him?
Well, Pop just never felt like finishing it. Oh, I guess he hasn't felt like finishing much of anything in the past few years. Unless it's 190 proof. Hey, how do you drink your coffee now, Burke?
Black, no sugar.
Say, when I see someone reading the financial page, I figure he's made it.
You never used to be such a nosy kid, Maggie.
I'll get your donuts. Hi. You come in town to get away from the ghosts and the goblins?
Partly. Also to make a phone call. I wonder, could you give me change for $3?
I don't see why not. Be with you in a minute, Burke.
No hurry. Hello.
Hello?
Here you are. The phone booth's in the lobby.
Thank you.
Now there's a brave gal. Can you imagine anyone wanting to live in Collinwood?
As a matter of fact, I can.
You couldn't pay me $100 a day to work in that spooky joint.
Nobody asked you, Maggie. But they did ask Miss Winters. Keep my coffee hot. I'll be right back.
Sure, Burke. Oh, Burke.
Yeah.
What did you say her name was?
Winters. Victoria Winters.
Miss Winters? You went up to the house and saw Miss Winters?
I told you I was looking for you.
You also just told me that you weren't going to do anything. Do you call going up to Collinwood not doing anything?
I was careful.
Careful. The one thing we'd always agreed upon was that you would never go anywhere near that house. What did you tell her?
And I wasn't sure you knew Burke was in town. I'm not too wild about myself or about you. But I felt the least I could do was warn you.
What did you tell her?
Nothing, just that Sam was looking for you. That's all I said.
Did you mention Burke's name?
No.
I don't believe you.
Look, use my phone. Call her and ask her yourself. All I said was Sam was looking for you. That's all I said.
Hello? Oh. Hello, Carolyn, dear. Listen, is Miss Winters there? Oh. How long ago? Did she say where she was going? No, kitten, it's not important. I'll see you later.
Where are you going?
I'm going to find Miss Winters before she finds Burke Devlin.
Are you sure the line's still busy? Well, thank you. I'll try again.
Hello, Miss Winters. How are you?
Here you are. Sure you only want coffee, Miss Winters?
Positive.
Thank you very much, Maggie.
Watch him. He's a fire eater.
I'm not sure I should even be having this cup of coffee.
I'm really harmless, Miss Winters. I promise.
Well, I have to make that phone call.
You said the line was busy.
I know, but it might be free now.
Miss Winters, when you arrived in Collinsport last night, did you know anyone in town?
No.
But you and I, we arrived on the same train, right?
Yes.
And we met at the railroad station, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I gave you a lift in my car, right?
Mr. Devlin, I don't see what you're getting at.
All I'm saying is that I, chronologically at least, am the oldest friend you have in Collinsport.
Well, I suppose so.
Well, now,
but...
there can't be anything wrong with your having a simple cup of coffee with your oldest friend, can there? Huh?
I guess not.
Unless, of course, you've heard deep, dark, angry things about me. Would you care for a donut?
No, thank you.
Well, in case you're interested, I do spend my days robbing widows, killing infants, foreclosing all the mortgages I can find. Would you care for a donut? You
No.
sure?
Mr. Devlin, I must say you're a strange man.
That's exactly what I was going to say about you.
Me?
Uh-huh. Now, look at it this way. All the attractive young girls are just dying to leave the big city to find love, romance, fortune. But you leave New York and bury yourself in a small town that wouldn't fill 4 square blocks in Manhattan.
So did you.
But I had a reason. What's yours?
I told you last night, a job.
I see. You come all these miles to live in a dark house and play patty cake with a woman who hasn't been out in 18 years? I can't quite believe that, Miss Winters.
I think I'm going to try my call again. Thank you for the coffee.
I'm terribly sorry. That was rude. Please, don't leave.
I'm tutoring a 9-year-old boy, and the pay is very good. That's the only reason I came up here.
I promise you I won't raise the issue again. Please, sit down. Please? We'll talk about the weather. Clam chowder. Maine clam chowder is the best in the world. Did you know that? Please.
Well, how is everything, folks?
Just a little discussion about clam chowder, Maggie.
I'll bet. Look, Miss Winters, if he gives you any trouble, you tell me.
Do they still have that local newspaper, Maggie?
Oh, it should be in the lobby about now. Once a week in this thriving metropolis.
Would you go get me a copy, please? That's a good girl.
Hint, hint, hint. Have you known her a long time?
Yes, I used to model for her father. He's a great guy. An artist. Tell me, how's Roger Collins?
I thought we were going to talk about clam chowder.
We will, I promise. But right now, I'm curious about Roger. You did tell him I was back in town, didn't you?
Yes.
Well, he and I used to be good friends. Was he anxious to see me?
I think that's a question you better ask him yourself.
I will, Miss Winters. I most certainly will.
I see. Thank you very much.
Oh, hello, Mr. Collins.
Oh, hello, Maggie.
Still looking for Pop?
No.
Well, if you do see him, tell him to come home once in a while, will you?
Oh, Maggie, there's a young girl. She started working for us last night.
Oh, Miss Winters.
Yes, that's the one. You haven't seen her, have you?
Sure, I just left her. She's in the restaurant.
Oh, thanks.
She's having coffee with Burke Devlin. You remember him, don't you?
No, it was no joke. Not at the time, I'll tell you. Well, there I was, prowling through the West Wing looking for ghosts, and boom!
I just can't imagine you being spanked.
Well, it happened.
Well, I hope it taught you not to go wandering through other people's houses.
Miss Winters, when you're 10 years old, 10 years old, and you have a real, live, haunted house right in your own hometown, how can you resist?
So you really thought Collinwood was haunted?
Don't you?
No, that's ridiculous.
Is it?
I'm not 10 anymore.
And you spent all night in that house. And you met all the people who live there. Can you honestly say that you don't feel some strangeness? Something that doesn't quite fit into this world?
Well, it's an old house, and there are creeks.
The ink's still wet.
But thank you, Maggie.
Well, I've got to make my phone call now. Thanks for the coffee, Mr. Devlin.
My pleasure.
Oh, Miss Winters, Roger Collins was just in the hotel lobby looking for you.
Did you tell him I was in here?
Uh-huh. With Burke. And he left.
Too bad. I'm always anxious to see old friends.
Well, thanks again, Mr. Devlin.
Did Collins say where he was going?
Uh-uh. But if you're going to go looking for him, will you keep an eye out for Pop, too?
Isn't he at home? I was going to drop in and say hello.
Oh, I'm sure he'd love it. But I have an idea he was on an all-night binge.
I didn't know Sam drank.
Lots of things have happened in 10 years, Burke.
The trouble with you, Sam Evans, you don't exist. You don't exist at all. I'm sorry, but the artist is not home. I told you. Oh, Maggie, how are you, Dolly? Oh, it's fine. 100% fine. Now cross my heart. Who? Oh, why'd you tell him to... It's too late. Nothing. Nothing. Goodbye.
Need any good models today?
What I need is a daughter who remembers to lock the doors.
Hello, Sam.
I've been drinking, you see. I'm drunk, but not drunk enough yet.
Is that all you have to say to me after 10 years?
What I have to say would split the earth apart and send me plummeting to the pit of hell.
Still the same. You haven't changed a bit.
Haven't I? Haven't I? You look at me real closely and tell me I haven't changed.
You look great. It's really good to see you again, Sam.
Why'd you come to see me?
Old time's sake. First thing I promised myself when I got back was to look you up, see how you were getting along.
Oh, I'm getting along fine. Just fine. Why'd you come back to Collinsport?
To visit the old hometown, that's all. How's the painting coming along?
Oh, I haven't done much lately.
Hit a dry spell, huh?
No, dry spell. It's funny. Dry spell. Burke,
What's wrong, Sam?
Nothing but an old man who's tired, wants a chance to rest. Look, why don't you run along and come back some other time? We'll have a nice visit.
Sure, Sam. Sure. Take it easy.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
Did you make your call?
Well, I placed it. I'm waiting for them to call me back.
Who are you calling? Your family back home?
In a way. Excuse me. Hello? Yes, that's right. The Hammond Foundling Home. Oh, okay. Hello? May I please speak with Miss Hopewell? Will you tell her it's Vicki Winters, and tell her it's important. It's very important.
It's Wild West Day on the dating game, and you're invited to join the fun as contestants try to rope themselves a partner tomorrow morning at 11:30, 10:30 Central Time on ABC. Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production.